We don't know what the origin is of that. It's really odd. Yeah, sounds okay, everybody? Now, I took it off. I turned this off. It's gone. I don't know where it came from, but we don't have time. They're going to try to distract us. Get your Blissful 1313. This is a reactivation of our divine shield. We do this every 13th. This is the Hunter full moon, so it's very relative that we make sure that we do our wonderful upholding and reactivation of our shield. So I hope everybody's rocking their purple and white. You see, got my Prince shirt on, rocking that purple. Make sure you have your, there's a little bit of an addition for those, protection for those going to the FleurBrun conference. So I'm going to start the actual reading of the mantra. We read it 3 times to, it's the Trinity. So if you're joining us for the first time for our reactivation of our shield, make sure you put a like on the video, and we're going to start in less than 30 seconds. The actual shield mantra is on the description. So sometimes I add some additions to our mantra to include things that are relative to whatever's going on presently, but this is a Hunter full moon. This is harvest time. This is the best time for us to reactivate our shield. So here we go. We're on that 13 mark. We call upon our divine elemental ancestors of fire, earth, air, water, divine mother of wisdom, divine father of protection. Cloak and shield us, Mother Tiamat, our divine feminine, masculine, the innocent, the just, twin flames, those unjustly imprisoned or tethered, those suppressed and oppressed, those traveling to and from FleurBrun's conferences, animal, aquatic, insect, and plant families in the shadows of smoke, that we may pass safely amongst all friend and foe. It was, it is, it shall be. We call upon our divine elemental ancestors of fire, earth, air, water, divine mother of wisdom, divine father of protection. Cloak and shield us, Mother Tiamat, our divine feminine, masculine, the innocent, the just, twin flames, those unjustly imprisoned or tethered, those suppressed and oppressed, those traveling to and from FleurBrun's conferences, animal, aquatic, insect, and plant families in the shadows of smoke, that we may pass safely amongst all friend and foe. It was, it is, it shall be. We call upon our divine elemental ancestors of fire, earth, air, water, divine mother of wisdom, divine father of protection. Cloak and shield us, Mother Tiamat, our divine feminine, masculine, the innocent, the just, twin flames, those unjustly imprisoned or tethered, those suppressed and oppressed, those traveling to and from FleurBrun's conferences, animal, aquatic, insect, and plant families in the shadows of smoke, that we may pass safely amongst all friend and foe. It was, it is, so shall it be. Woo! We reactivated our shield once again. Welcome to Blissful 1313. This is the day that we put down our swords. This is the day that we be the change that we want to see in the world. It just so happens to be an amazing astrological phenomenon, as we are actually doing this on a full moon, the 13th on a full moon, a harvest, not even a harvest moon, a hunter's moon. So this is an amazing time to reactivate our shield. As you see, I added for protection for those traveling to and from my conference on the 31st. So I always wanted to make sure I add an addition to you guys traveling at this time. It's amazing. Did I hear about the plot? No. Oh, April. I did not hear about that. Thank you for sharing that. I have to look into that. So check on in. We're going to do our interconnecting of our ley lines as we used to always do. You're going to kick off your location. This is how we create our own protective grid. We interlay our lines, our own grid lines together. So you kick off your location and we interconnect with you on a geographical level. So we got Wisconsin coming in. Stephanie's already kicking off. Wisconsin's in the house. Big up to you. We have upstate New York representing. What's good? Cali representing. What up, West Coast? Plano, Texas is in the house. Jacksonville, Florida representing. UK coming in. Mold, Minnesota's in the house. Boston. What's good, Boston? Fairy Soul. South Kakalaki's in the house. South Carolina represent. Nebraska represent. Beltsville, Maryland represent. What's good? Petawawa, Ontario. Beautiful. Paris, Texas is in the house. Cornwall, England is in the house. Cape Town represent. What up, South Africa? Massachusetts representing. Long Island, Strong Island representing. New York, Kiki, what's good? Julie from England. Hey, Matthew. Vegas is in the house. Hey, Cadillac representing. Bay Area, Kay, what's good? Greetings from West, what is that? WV is that? WV, remind me, WV. Big up to you, Crystal. Killian, Texas is in the house. Arizona represent. New York, Cypher represent. What's good? Cypher's coming all strong to the conference. Raleigh, North Kakalaki's in the house. North Carolina. Berlin, Germany coming up. Hey, Fancy. Upstate New York represent. Netherlands. Hey, Femk. Barron's in the house. Apple Valley, Cali's in the house. Georgia's in the house. Mobile, Alabama represent. New Zealand. Hey, Love and Light Forever. Brooklyn. What up, Alexis? Brooklyn's representing. Tampa's in the house. Florida. Jacksonville. Kansas is in the house. Hey, Naj. North Florida's in the house. Hey, Narda. In my neck of the woods. Cadillac representing Vegas. Chesterfield, Virginia. Finally, Virginia's in the house. Hey, Lakeisha. Northern California. What's good? You guys are safe? Flint, Michigan's in the house. California Bay is in the house. South Florida representing. Yucatan, Mexico. Woo! Mexico is in the house. Mississippi representing. Indianapolis. Sometimes I get that tongue-tied. LA, Cali's in the house. Louisiana's in the house. We'll see you in a few weeks, Jen. Charlotte's in the house. North Kakalaki. Sweden's representing. Hey, Valina. Albania's in the house. Hey, Rena. Hey, Irini. Montana's in the house. Chicago, Michigan's in the house. Miramar, Florida's in the house. Hartford, Connecticut. Hey, Connecticut. I miss Connecticut. I used to go and do apple picking and stuff this time of year. Chicago's in the house. Brooklyn. What up, JS? New Orleans in the house. We will be there in 2 weeks. Washington, D.C. represent. Cornwall, Paw Dog Country. Cambodia representing. Hey, Hasmita. Mississippi representing. Houston, Texas. North Kakalaki representing. North Carolina. Chicago, West Virginia. Hey, West Virginia. Radioactive is in the house. Smoky, California is in the house. Toronto. Hey, Destiny. Virginia Beach in the home of, we always, I always talk about my past life with the, Edgar Casey Institute. Big up to Virginia Beach is in the house. Pennsylvania represent. PA. Hey, Paulette. West Virginia. Stephanie again. Crystal. West Virginia. West Virginia. That's what it was. WV. I could not get that. Thank you. I'm going to remember that. WV is West Virginia, Cambodia. Grand Prairie, Texas is in the house. Raleigh is again in the house. Kansas is in the house. We have Bowie, Maryland represent. Keisha, Atlanta. ATL is finally in the house. What's good, Atlanta? Southeast Michigan representing. Thousand Oaks, I know where that is. California. Hey, Marissa. Kentucky representing. Chelsea, Massachusetts. Beautiful up there this time of year. Detroit. What up, D-Town? Jennifer's in the house. Kansas representing. Chicago, Alabama, Indiana. Gary in Indianapolis, right? Chicago, Illinois. Boulder, Colorado coming in. UK, West Midlands in the house. Cambodia again representing. Bordeaux, France is in the house. Colombia is in the house. Okay. So Jersey, finally Jersey's in the house. Spring Hills. Hey Donna, Spring Hills, Florida. London, UK. LA is in the house. Peninsula, Upper Peninsula, Michigan. Gary, Dominica, Ruby, Dominica, which is close to my island in Martinique, right? Minneapolis, Denmark's in the house. What's good? Kitsansi. Is that your name? Washington State, represent another beautiful state. PG County, I know where that is. Maryland, Doche is in the house. The Washington State is so beautiful this time of year. Mount Vernon, what? Mount Vernon, money, earning Mount Vernon. Don't get me excited, Tara. Mount Vernon representing. That's my old school. That's my home. That's where FleurBrun was cultivated. That's where I was created. That's where I was born. Mount Vernon, New York in the house. Was good, Tara. Pittsburgh, New Zealand, Cayman Islands, beautiful Cayman Islands. If you've never been to beautiful islands, Cayman Islands is amazing. Seattle, Washington's in the house. Jersey was good. We got we giving the 315-5952216. Argentina, beautiful Argentina's in the house. What's good? That's South America. Bronx. What? Finally, Bronx. Mystical coming in. Mystical goddess finally representing for the Bronx. What up, BX? Tasmania's in the house. Hey, Hayden. Ada, Michigan, Studio City, NYC, Melissa, South Carolina, Toronto, Dallas, let's see, St. Lucia, finally, 758 Natural Order. Hey, St. Lucia's in the house. Hey, Marcus, Illinois is representing. Okay, make sure we got London, make sure we get everybody in here. Mount Vernon, that's right, stand up, Westchester County, what's good? 651 is in the house. Birmingham, Alabama, okay, Orange City. So we got most of our family, Phoenix, Arizona. So this is a beautiful day. This is a re-upping of our shield. And for those who are newer to the platform, make sure you put a like just as a common courtesy coming in the house. But every month we've made it a point it's been over 2 years now, almost 2 years. Is it 2 years yet? Almost 2 years. We came as a collective and decided to make a day that we be the change we wanted to see in the world and uphold a shield about those that are really needed the most protection, especially during these pinnacle times when we're going through such a shift. So we created a beautiful shield, and every 13th we always rock our purple and white as a signature of our higher divinity, our higher energy connected to our crown chakra, and white being the peaceful frequency that we denote and that we put down our sword. So all sea stars, if this is a day that you have any angst against another sea star, you put down your swords. This is a day of solidarity. This is a day of peace. This is a day we show who we want to be and how we want the world to show up. So I always suggest on this day, if you know any elders or any facilities that are with people that are the forgotten elders, it's always nice if you can extend some wonderful goodies or come in if you're an artist. If you can bring some paintings, or if you sing, if you play guitar, it's very nice for you to donate your time to the elders, as they've done so much to make sure that we show up in the world the way we did. We rarely give as much credit to our elders who have really made a way for us to even have these conversations on the internet the way we do, so free form. So make sure, and all the animal shelters are always open for getting food. A lot of them are overwhelmed, especially when it starts to get cooler in the Northeast. You guys are in colder states. A lot of the animals are looking for shelter, especially the mothers who are just giving birth to babies. It's very nice if you if you donate some food, anything canned food, dry food. They're always accepting of it, and it's always a testament of you putting your effort out to make sure that we secure those of our animal family that require for some assistance, because a lot of what is going, a lot of the rehabilitation of our animals and what's going on with the destabilization of the wild is because of our presence. A lot of our presence has destabilized, and a lot of animals have lost homes. So the dogs, cats, sometimes rabbits, a lot of different animals that the animal shelters take care of. Even if you donate $50 or $25 or $10 to the shelters, they're always very appreciative of it. So I asked if you can do that today, and we mustn't forget about the little people, because I always think it's amazing to extend a little bit of extra to our little people. So especially for the daddies and uncles and big brothers. Our little people really love and really uphold our males to a high standard, and I think it would be beautiful if you take the boys out today, do some cleaning up in the parks, or sit in the park and read them stories, not about slavery, not about things that are depreciative, about their strength, about stories of overcoming obstacles, and especially a male doing that with other males. It's just such a beautiful thing to see when fathers really step up. And even if you're a daddy of your few, if you have some of the neighborhood boys that don't have daddies in the home, if the moms are okay with you taking them out, maybe, taking them out on the field and just sitting together and talking about, how wonderful the future can be for them, telling them how wonderful they are, how masterful they can be, and they can be anything they want to be, and reading stories of such the wonderful warrior stories that have such wonderful endings. So I always say that's a wonderful thing for our males can do, because a lot of times the sun stars say, what can we do? There's so much you can do. We require you. You mean so much to us, and your presence and your healthy presence really makes a big change in the way that the world shows up. So we require you in every way. And also for those sea stars, we always say that you donate time to yourself. This is also a day that you should do special things for yourself. Like, if you wanted that slice of, I always say that slice of cheesecake, because sometimes you deny yourself. And also it's the 13th and it's a full moon, that it's a hunter moon, so it's very heavy. So you might feel a little starken, you might feel a little heavy today, you might have thoughts of things that were unresolved within you. So this is very much a day that I say that you treasure yourself and treat yourself to something that's special, not anything that's heinous. I'm not telling you to go get a Big Mac. You notice FleurBrun won't say that, but I'm saying there's a vegan restaurant, or there's a holistic restaurant that has, halal meat. If you're still a meat eater, there's restaurants that have halal and kosher meat, or have very healthy food that you maybe wanted to try. Maybe today is the day that you say, you know what, let me go and try for the first time some healthy, choices, vegan choices, or, healthy, if you're going to eat meat, healthy meat choices, and try this halal restaurant or this kosher restaurant, and try something different, have something that makes me feel like it's feeding my soul, you know what I mean? So that's a wonderful addition today. So I have a sea star who donated a song today, and I really am upset because I wanted to play it for you, and I'm still going to play it for you. It's a wonderful song she sent me today. I want to give her a shout out. Hold on. And I want to play it while you guys come up. Now, for those just entering the room, please put a like on the video. This is our shield day. You can never read the shield enough. You read the shield 3 times. You can do it throughout the day, because this is our 13th. Make sure that you are reading it 3 times. 3 is the Trinity. It solidifies it. The shield we do every 13th. So for our newer subscribers, this is something that we made a choice to do, and it's been a wonderful. We've had wonderful results. A lot of the child sexual rings have been uncovered, and their spots have been blown. We take credit for that, because once we started doing this is when all the reveal of all the trafficking of women and a lot of the places that we're doing these things were being revealed and uncovered, and we take responsibility, because as we are a collective, our voice and our intent matters. So even if it was 10 of us, it would still make a difference, but there's many of us. And big up to the newscasters, because the first time we did our shield, I don't know if many of you remember, the newscasters in California joined us. So many of them wore their purple and white and joined us in our shield. We had Whoopi Goldberg, who wore the purple and white. We had Martha Stewart, who wore the purple and white, and a couple of other cloaked celebrities who actually joined in the shield. And even the very slippery, she's an insectillion, the Queen Mother tried to join us, because she's trying to cipher off our energy. But we always accept on this day that this is a day that we have zero angst against anyone. This is a day we put down our short sword. So make sure you always uphold the shield on the 13th. Even if I don't come on, I always say it doesn't give you an excuse to keep from upholding it. It's very important for us to all partake in it. Okay. Let me get this Sea Stars wonderful music. I was playing it. I was excited. Let's see if I can play it again. I apologize for the sound. I don't know where that sound came from, but I wasn't going to let it rain on our. I wasn't going to let it rain on our parade. So let's get some music. It's called Know Me, okay, and she's amazing. And I just started, I'm listening for the first time with you guys.
Only recognized by my eyes since I landed. My arrival was prophesied, so I planned it. Every star had to fall in line for this transit. This not my first rotation, I've been known to many nations. This ain't my first creation, I've been on manifestation. This time of great dissension forced me in and out dimensions. Mental mid-air suspension caused unnecessary tension. A lot of people think they know me, think they know me, think they know me, think they know me. It's kind of funny, they can't show me, they can't show me, they can't show me, because they don't really know me, know me. A lot of people think they know me, think they know me, think they know me, think they know me. It's kind of funny, they can't show me, they can't show me.
And Golden, that's you, right?
Because they don't really know me, know me. I know you think you thought you knew. I'm such an alien, mystic things happen to me. I couldn't tell you, then let you just keep assuming. Expanded consciousness comes across as unruly.
Happy birthday to your sun star.
The world y'all never knew about. Experience things y'all heard mystery schools about. Traveled the depths of the darkness to unknown whereabouts. Witnessing things that nobody would dare to share about. A lot of people think they know me, think they know me, think they know me, think they know me. It's kind of funny, they can't show me, they can't show me, they can't show me, because they don't really know me, know me. A lot of people think they know me, think they know me, think they know me, think they know me. It's kind of funny, they can't show me, they can't show me, they can't show me, because they don't really know me, know me.
Woo! I'm feeling that, C Star. This is our own C Star. She sent the music. Hold on. I want to give her a shout out. She's in here. She just said, thank you very much. Hold on. Let me give her, because I saw her send it earlier and I didn't get a chance. Let me give her a drop of her name. I love the song. It's off the chain. Hold on. Where's your name? Grace, aka Chosen G. She's called Chosen G. She's obviously she's chosen. Her name is Chosen G. She's on Spotify and check her out. It's called Regrace. Regrace, that's you. Is Chosen G on here? I think she's on here. Chosen G. I'm feeling it. I'm feeling the music. And like I said, I always encourage you to send me your music if it's positive, if it's upholding a higher frequency. You know how I'm a music nista. I love especially positive music sense. So always send it. I love this joint. I called it a joint. We'll get into a little bit of a conversation with that in a minute. So give her props. She's called Grace, aka Chosen G. So I guess you can check her out. Hold on, let me see her Spotify name. I think it's just called Chosen G. Yes, it's called Chosen G. Okay, so if you want to check it out, she's got Know Me and Oblivious. Check it out on Spotify. All right. So family, so how's everybody going? Is everybody feeling okay? The lyrics are sick. The beat is off the chain. That's a dope beat, right? So okay, family. So a lot is going on. I've been a little busy as a bee, and I hope many of you now listen. Whenever I code something, listen to me, because that's all I'll say. When I code something, just know it's coding, okay? So I won't, if you aren't getting it, I can't explain it to you. So for those who really appreciated, especially from our West Coast, those who really appreciated my Creole cooking video, I decided to pull it off, and you can get it on Proton Gmail, my Proton Mail. So if you decided you wanted to see my cooking video, my Creole cooking video, make sure that you because I won't respond to you unless you have a Proton Mail. So make sure you get Proton Mail and ask for the Creole cooking video, and I will send to you the recipe. Okay, so that's for all those who were able to see my video. Okay, so some of you already did it. I'm on live, so I see some of you going on, but you have to have a Proton Mail for me to respond to you. You know what I'm saying? So I'll send that to you. Okay. Anyway, so for those for everything going on in the world, it's I just wanted to touch base with everyone. I made the video about chiefing. Yeah, it's on Proton Mail. FleurBrun, my Proton Mail is simply FleurBrun. Make sure you spell my name correctly. It's F-L-E-U. It's the French word for flower. So FleurBrun, B-R-U-N, at protonmail.com. Okay. So I know many people were concerned about the alien extraterrestrial marijuana that they're distributing, and it is vetted out even more than the message and the video I sent you. The video actually became more validated later. So I was 1000% of the information that I was giving you. That's why I gave it to you so late, because when I get the intel, I don't want to wait. A lot of times I just, sometimes if it's something that's not pressing, I'll wait, but then I may forget about it. This one was on point. It was 1000%. And I will say to you, the video I made was 2000% on. Okay. Just make sure you're mindful. Listen, this is a day we love ourselves. And I say this, if you're going to engage in anything that has that you have a level of addiction to, you should really rethink what's going on with you, because a lot of us are being rewired. Just, with the coffee, I stopped Starbucks before my conference to clear myself, but a lot of things, it could be coffee, it could be food, genetically modified food. A lot of things are really being heavily shape-shifted. They're being shifted in order to change your molecular structure. Okay, so I say this all to say, I know more chiefers than I don't. So when I come and make a video like that, I have to make sure that I'm on point, because my chiefering people aren't trying to hear anything other than what has been servicing them for years. And I say this, if you can't manufacture it yourself and grow it yourself and vet out that it's actually an heirloom. I think the original leaf has 7 leaves, okay? 7 leaves. So, and if you don't know what the original looks like, it's very hard for you, even if you get the seeds, to be able to grow the original, because I remember back in the days, they were getting rid of a lot of the original heirloom seeds. That's why a lot of times you didn't see seeds anymore, because it was being homogenized. Okay. Remember, my brother's a botanist, so I know what I'm talking about. Especially, I worked in genetics. My brother's a botanist. We come from a scientifically vetted family, so that I know what I'm talking about regarding this. And anytime you mess with anything that's genetically homogenized, even when we talk about grapes, the seedless grapes, I love eating grapes and things like that. Hey, Melanin, High Priestess. They mess with it. And big up to the Sea Star, who also brought up the fact that cigarettes have black goo in it, which I think I talked about that years ago. I mean, if you're smoking cigarettes, you already know. Yeah, you already know. They have tar. The tar is sentient, and it has black goo in it. That's why when they took my mother out, big up, oh, thank you, Mary New, bringing in that 555. Thank you, Mary New. Remember when they took my mother out, my mother was a smoker for over 50 years. I talked about it many years, and her behavioral patterns have been so different. My mother's such a different person. Remember, everything's relative. When they tried to take her out, she survived, but one thing that did not come back with my mother is her smoking habit. And I'm so grateful, because she's a different person, literally, from stopping just smoking. So just, that being said, we have to, especially in this pinnacle time of 2012, we have to be really on point with the things that we engage with. And that's why doing things like this, Upholding Shields, coming together and making sure we are interacting with those of a certain quality of intellect and consciousness, because it will help you to elevate, or at least keep you in a healthy homeostasis. A lot of you call me a lot of times and saying you're feeling lonely. And as we've always denoted, even in the matrix, that the higher up you get, the less you'll see or engage with or be able to engage with. Because at the higher altitudes, most people can't breathe, especially if their arteries are clogged, if they're, and when I say arteries, their eyes depreciated or, atrophied, that disallows from you going into the higher lanes of consciousness. And as you get a little higher up, the higher up you get, the less people you'll be able to see or engage with. And what may seem lonely, even though your posse would seem like it was more at the bottom, you have higher posse at the top. So as you go up the ladder, your posse at the top are etheric beings. These are beings that supersede the level of 3D. So what seems like the physical posse you had, the homies you had on the lower realm, they were all affected by programming, whether it's, engaged in deprived sexual behavior, whether it's engaged in, engaging in drugs that are morphing their personalities and changing them, or having to drink and engage in spirits, wine and spirits every day. That's what was happening with the homies. So a lot of your homies have been already taken. They've been taken out by the 3D. They're there. But as you get in higher realms of consciousness, the homies up there, they have zero attachments. they are clear and free. So but they're not going to correct you either. The etheric homies are not going to correct you. They're going to tell you how it is. They're going to say, listen, you got to get up and be something and do something. Oh, thank you, N Golden. I had drinks on the beach, 2 entities watching me. See? And I say this all to say, FleurBrun is, many of you know, I enjoy music. I love dancing, especially Latin dancing. That is my favorite thing to do. Many of you know me from that world. I love engaging in so many beautiful ways. But what I've realized is that as I've changed my frequency or who I am or how I show up in the world, just with myself, I'm unable to walk in worlds anymore where people are engaged in those addictive patterns of behavior. It's just what it is. Oh, thank you, love. AB says, I think they want us vegan and to smoke the cannabis so we can take. Yes, honey, yes. AB, listen, AB. Oh, let me finish what she's saying. I get excited so that we can be taken over and easier. I think the cannabis is actually hominoid or makes you a hominoid or activates the nanobots. I agree. Listen, that you just said it. Remember years ago, some of you are from my platform from like 3 years ago. Remember when I made the vegan videos? Like, why are they promoting veganism? Where is that coming from? They're not, listen, those of us who are actually vegetarian and vegans from over 20 years ago, there's a process you go through. Most people started off as meat eaters, then they become pescatarians, then they become flexitarians, then they become vegetarians, and then they sometimes borderline on veganism. They're not really staying there. I didn't know many vegans that stayed there. They were flexitarians. Like they would go to fish every once in a while, then they would go back to vegetarianism. Okay, so it's interesting that they started promoting this years ago, and I questioned it. I was one of the only people questioning it because I knew it was a natural. Why would you just shift people so extreme? Because people were getting sick. Like, why would you do that? And why was it like all these celebrities being the poster child of that? Because I will tell you, on the higher layers and higher tiers, I haven't seen, and I walk amongst many circles, family, that you do know. I walk in many circles. I never saw people in the higher tiers ever being vegetarians or vegans. But what I will see them is that they have their own personal farms where they farm their own animals, and they're not eating what the general public is eating. So I know people of the higher tiers that only engage in consuming. If they eat animals, they only eat animals that they're rearing themselves. They don't mess with the meat that is in McDonald's or Burger King or the general public has access to. So thank you for saying that, AB. You're right on point. Okay, and the cannabis that you guys are smoking isn't natural. And I've always told you, smoking. I'm a Caribbean girl. I'm a Caribbean woman, and I come from generations of Caribbean people, especially the Caribbean and Arawak. The one thing I know is that because Westernization has bastardized the herb and they've changed it, we didn't engage with cannabis like that. When we grew it, we put it in tinctures. We tinctured it, we put it in oils, and then also we steeped it in teas. A lot of the westernized nations have taken it and bastardized it and chemically homogenized it. We didn't do that. So when I see a lot of Americans or people in other countries that are consistently and perpetually smoking it, I tell them all the time, you're changing the molecular structure. And it's just like a tea. Even with a very light tea, they tell you not to put too much heat on it because it changes the component and it takes away from the benefits of it. So, if you have to do something every day, and I listen, I'm singing to the choir because you saw my coffee habit, and that's coffee. So you saw my coffee habit, going to Starbucks every day and having my cup of coffee. That's an addiction. And when something takes you over to that degree, you have to know that there's a level of inception that is happening, because you're not going to get addicted to eating an orange every day. If you eat an orange every day and you stop eating orange, you're not going to be addicted to it. You may have, your body might get used to the vitamin C you're getting it from it, but it's not going to be an addiction where if you stop engaging with oranges, then you like your body shuts off or you get sick. That's unnatural. Okay? So the video I made the other day was fact. I didn't make that up. It is an extraterrestrial form of plant that is body snatching people. And I'm going to tell you a story that I've never told you before, and I think many of you heard part of it, to give you an idea. And this is where it's going to get, and this is how I keep it real, okay? So many of you knew at the time, many of you guys knew at the time, many years ago, what's that, babe? What's that? What is that? What? Oh, okay. Well, you're gonna take that. Okay, but leave it there. Don't take them out. Oh, okay. Yeah, that's cool. I didn't know we had any more. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry, family. So many years ago, many of you know why I started YouTube. I had a homie, big up to Warren. Warren was on YouTube big time. He was one of the big YouTubers at the time. YouTube wasn't big. It was when my little one, the one that's talking right now, she was a baby. She was just born and I was nursing her. So I used to stay up all night, and my homie, Warren, used to make videos. And he would send it to me, and they were hilarious. I loved them. We were friends from childhood. This is one man who loved me beyond anything. So when years later, what happened now, Warren was a big smoker when we were young. He's one of the reasons I got a chance to try cannabis when I was younger. Nobody would ever give me cannabis because they already knew I was a little spacey. And one thing I say is people were very protective of me as a young girl. So the first time I ever tried it was in my 20s. So because many of the people who knew me didn't think it was righteous, and they knew my parents. So even if I asked or I was curious about it, there wasn't one person, and this is how you know if people love you or care about you. People who introduce you to synthetic drugs or illicit drugs really don't care about you, or they don't care about themselves. Okay, so I asked for a while and was the first person who introduced me to cannabis. Now, I didn't really have a bad experience with it. It didn't make me feel any way, but I didn't like the feeling that it gave me afterwards. So, it wasn't something that I engaged with all the time. And again, it wasn't even recreational. It was something that, as a Sagittarius, I was curious about, and he was one of the first people. Now, years later, I had... he had stopped smoking. Okay, so he had stopped smoking. He's a big guy. He's 6'7", handsome as anything. He stopped smoking because he felt like it was changing him. Okay, so when he decided not to engage in smoking, I'm telling you this story for a reason, because it's one of the stories I've never shared with you, and I think it's important because especially when I see my young people really having problems with the drugs in itself that are being exposed to. So he was 6'7", he stopped smoking. He was a cyclist. He was amazing. He was such an athlete. And he stopped smoking, and many years later, when I had my daughter, we started to reconnect. And again, this was my love. This is not a stranger on the street. It's not somebody from YouTube, somebody I knew from a child. And his behavioral pattern when he stopped smoking changed. He was much more lighthearted. He was less depressed. He had less dark thoughts. He was much more energetic. He had an amazing, even working out, his workouts were much more successful. And he just had a better mindset. Needless to say, I think at the time, many of you knew this was somebody who was deeply in love with me, and we could not be together for reasons or so. And it took him for a toll. And I had moved at the time to Florida. So, what's going on? No, I'm just watching. That's not appropriate. I know. Okay. So, I moved many years, you moved to Florida, and he got depressed. So he started to engage in marijuana usage, and also he got a tattoo at the same time. So I talked about having tattoos, how I personally think there are sentient beings inside of the black goo, inside of the tattoos. He went to like a local tattooist who came up, his tattoo was sick, like it was amazing. He had like a steel like bike, because he was into biking, he had steel bike like rod on his shoulder. It looks amazing. And he started to engage in marijuana again. So when he started to engage in marijuana again, you can automatically see he got dark. Like his eyes started to get bags. He started to just be lower in frequency. You could just see that he was struggling with his mind. And, I always told you guys that he died, but he actually killed himself. He actually jumped off of the George Washington Bridge, and he killed himself. So many of you don't know why that I don't share a lot of things with you about him, and I always talk about that and why I have such a strong feeling about marijuana. When I found out that he killed himself, and the way that he killed himself, I knew exactly why and what was part of it. And I personally think he had weaponized marijuana. I think he was engaged in it. I think it took over his mind along with the tattoo. And, he's not here anymore to talk about. We always used to talk about the future, about our future, like the things we'd be doing. And, something like that, which I don't think anybody could have anticipated but myself, happened because of engaging in drugs that lowered his frequency. It probably allowed for more of that archonic voices to kind of get in his head, and also along with the black goo, which I think didn't help. So when I talk to you young people, FleurBrun is not talking from a high cloud, like sitting on a rainbow cloud somewhere. I talk to you from a position of knowing people or things that have had a dark cloud attached to them via through drugs or doing things that I know have some attachment to it. Okay, so just, I share that story with you because many of you don't know, and sometimes you ask me, but that was the reason. And that's why I don't share his channel, because I don't think I think his channel might have been taken down. I think for a long time they couldn't take it down. They took his channel down already, I think. I haven't checked lately. But so this is a struggle with drugs. And I also discussed, I was seeing somebody who liked me, and as soon as they started smoking marijuana, their whole frequency changed. Their whole field changed. They were all light spirited the whole day, and as soon as they smoked marijuana, their whole frequency changed. So that's why I share that with you. So for those who thought I was sharing a video saying that I'm the bomb.com, FleurBrun is perfect, that is far from true. That is far from true. I am the least perfect person. I am actually imperfectly imperfect. I'm perfectly imperfect. And I do acknowledge that things that I've experienced in my life, and that's why I say young people, sometimes you're elders. I'm not quite an elder yet, but sometimes people who have experienced more things can share stories that would allow for you to be able to learn and experience from a position of hearing someone else's experience rather than you having to go through it yourself. So I always love when someone who's been through something shares, not as a way to damper your spirit, but just to, alert you of something that could occur. Okay. So that being said, that's just on chiefing. I just wanted to, I think, chiefing has a level that allows for you to have holes in your auric field. Also Santos, I shared a video with Santos. I love Santos. Santos also, was amazing because you have to finish up, babe. Go finish up. Okay. Santos also, shared the same, Kiki forwarded that to me, and I was like, oh my gosh, Santos said the same. This is not something that's just, for me to share with you. It's not just my intel. It's what people who know what's going on out here in these YouTube and these matrix streets. Okay. So if you don't watch yourself and protect yourself, then there are higher level beings who have much more knowledge about who and what you are, and they will take advantage of you leaving yourself in susceptible. CBD oil is the same thing. Oils, remember, your largest organ is your skin. So, CBD oil is grafted and taken and tinctured off of and created off of genetically homogenized, chief. And, chief, yeah. And, once it's taken from that, it has the same effects, if not worse, because it's heightened. It's at a higher level. Now, CBD oil is utilized for a lot of cancer patients. I know a lot of people who utilize it for arthritis. I know people who utilize it for severe chronic pain disorders. And what I say to you is this. We need to get to a point where we're not non-reliant on others. Our ancestors made everything. It is only righteous for you to make your own things. You have to start being proactive and making things for yourself. Instead of relying on these third parties that you can't vet out. You don't know these people. You don't know the facilities that it's coming from. You don't know the kind of demons that are attached to whatever they're creating. There isn't any way. So we always, my answer is, if you don't know it, then create your own. Do you. When my babies were born, especially when I couldn't vet out everything, I got together with farmers in the local area and we created our own things. I made their baby food if I couldn't vet it out. if I had to get pea pod, like there were pods that they were creating at the time that were organic, if I couldn't vet it out, I created it. If I wanted them to have ice cream and I didn't want to buy it from a store because they had soy or eggs involved in it, I created it myself. If I wanted to create my own couches or, you know, do my own fabrics on my couches, I did it myself. There's so many, and this is the one thing I say. There isn't any reason that you can't do those things because we have tutorials on YouTube. This is the wonderful thing about YouTube and having videos where people create everything. You can create it. And also try to find people who have heirloom seeds. In the Americas, you're not going to get an heirloom seeds of Chief. You won't get it. The only people I know are the Yardies. Big up to my Yardies in the house. Yardies are the only ones who I think have the most authentic and most certified version of the actual herb. So you would have to find West Indian staples that would be able to find you the actual beautiful heirloom that they have. Now, my suggestion is why change it to molecular structure? If you need CBD oil, I just told you how my boyfriend's mother, who was like almost 100 years old, saved me from a fever and gave me something for my feet. She had made that herself here in the States. You know, her name was Aunt Bella. Bella was like her name. She had the same nickname as me. So her name was Aunt Bella. She made it for me. Trini in the house. You guys have more staple. Go to our other sect of people and find the actual original herb. It should have 7 leaves. If it does not, to my knowledge, that is not the original form of, you know, and my brother's a botanist, I can ask him, but this is something you have to be proactive. Don't be addicted to somebody relying on someone else, because post pole shift, you won't have CBD oil made by your happy dandy facilities that are creating these monster addictive drugs. You won't have access to that. So what are you going to do when the pole shift happens? Where are you going to get your stuff? You're not going to be able to walk around with pain. You're going to have to overcome that pain. You know, these are things that we have to do. Everything is in the mindset. Your mind can heal everything and anything about you. Your mind is stronger than anything that can come towards you. That's why they try to mess with your mind. Create things for yourself and be less addicted to other things. If you have tons of addictions to things that you have to purchase, then after pole shift, it's going to be real challenging. And this is just real talk. I want the best for everybody here. I do. Even those who don't wish me well, I say to you, listen, even if you don't like me and you have children, at least do the best for your little people. Be the best that you can so that your little people will be safe. Be good, okay? I don't require people to like me to take my information. That's one thing you won't ever hear me do. That's a C-star who's a little more seasoned. I'm not here for likes and giggles. Giggles maybe, not likes. You know, and you know, a lot of times on YouTube, and this is what I love that Santo said, on YouTube, the people with the most intel, the people the least in the algorithm, okay? The reason why many of you are on here, to be honest, is either you fell upon me on YouTube, it wasn't the algorithm, or you had other platforms who shared me. And I'm grateful for that, because most of the other platforms share me. I didn't even gain my numbers on YouTube. It's a nominal number. I gained it just from others sharing me or just people falling into my video, because we were in similar frequency, and there aren't many like us on here. So it's okay that, you know, don't make sure you aren't putting people's numbers of how many subscribers they have and giving them more validity to their information, because chances are the higher up they are, the more incepted they are. They've already been incepted. Okay, that's just a fact. Because I've gone to channels where they have 1,000 people as subscribers and their intel is fire. And and I find it just by chance. So just know that. And stop vetting out on what people do. Live your life and then share from your own experiences, because my experiences may be different. I share things I know, but make sure that you're sharing your own experiences. Make sure you're living your life. I cringe on when people say that they watch videos all day getting more downloads. You shouldn't be getting other people's downloads. Get your own downloads. Get your own. You know what I'm saying? I share things. I'm not watching other people's videos on enlightenment and spirituality. Those are things I'm getting on my own. I don't need to watch your video talking about how enlightened you are, because I need my own level of intel on my own enlightenment, my own things. Anything you hear me share is things I'm going through. If you ever hear, I'm going through things. I'm not sharing things from other people's perspective. I'm sharing my own perspective. That's all I can do. I can't vet out somebody else, okay? Unless I meet them at the conference. Gemini said, it's a beautiful day. It's a wonderful day. I am so grateful. I am so grateful for the amount of intel that's coming in. I will say this. One thing I say is that all of the wonderful revelations. Oh, and I'm going to do a breakdown of Gemini. I saw Gemini and they coded the video for me. They actually coded the movie. I know they coded it for me. I saw the movie Gemini. I don't know if anybody saw it. I saw it Friday night. Did anybody else see the movie Gemini? Please put a like on the video. I see, if you step in the room, just as a common courtesy, I'd appreciate if as a common courtesy, would you mind putting a like on the video? Just like I said, YouTube has been, well, they've been gracious, but they've been giving people surveys on me. No one saw, okay, so you saw Gemini? Okay, so a couple of you saw Gemini was on point. Listen, family, I don't want to break it then, so I'm not going to do the breakdown of Gemini until most people see it. It's worth seeing. I will say that. It is worth seeing. So if you've not seen Gemini with Will Smith, it's got those, what I've shared with you with me getting the email from the other FleurBrun. Listen, family. Right? Okay, people are coming in on Proton Mail. Okay, so for those coming on Proton Mail, I see you coming on. I'm gonna share my cooking things with you on Proton. So for those, I will only respond to those with Proton accounts. Let me just state that. Okay, so check out Gemini. You know, I'm a big movie person. There are people in the Intellis community who are anti-movies or anti-television. There isn't anything wrong with them being anti that, but I love to get my gems. Like Gemini already has a name, Gemini. I like to get some of the, because I know that they tell you things in movies. They're supposed to give you the truth. So a lot of times in movies, you get to see things that are, you know, predictive programmings that they have in there. They tell you everything. You saw the Joker? I haven't seen the Joker yet. A lot of the stuff I go see with my little people. You know, I you know, that's my crew. My little people are my crew. So that's why I always keep balanced and on point, because my little people are my crew. Like, oh, can I have that, Bibba? Are you my crew? Okay. You're my crew? Thank you, love. My posse's are on Broadway. Yeah, my little ones, they come in. They're all outside playing right now. I'm ordering 50 million people. Listen, conference goers, I'm ordering everything from the conference. I've been ordering all day. When I do things, I do it thorough. So whoever's coming to the conference, you're gonna appreciate the things that I do, oh, look at this. Okay, so big up to who, breaking news, I'm opening a package online. This is big up to the C-Star who was on my Patreon. We had Dr. John on the Patreon. So I can show you this because I think it's good for you to see. Because this is a beautiful day. This is our 13th Shield Day. So all things that are positive we can share with one another. I can't even, look how they wrap this. Hold on. Oh my gosh. I can't even open this. They like pack this sucker. I'm grateful. They packed this sucker like it was like gold. Oh. Woo. Oh, good Lord. Oh. All right. I love opening this stuff. Oh. There you go. Breaking news. So this is Candex. Big up to the C-Star who shared this with me to do the Candida clearing. Oh, and I'm going to do a video on this, family. It's very important. So this is Candex. I just ordered it for my little one. So we were talking about Candida, and there's a fungus. I'm making a whole video on funguses and how funguses are the aliens that are taking over many of your bodies. And most people who are being diagnosed with cancer are actually having fungus that looks like cancer, because cancer is a fungus. I've seen it under a microscope and it looks white like a fungus, like a mushroom, okay? And most people are suffering from Candida or forms of fungus overtaking their body. And when people are doing testing, because the test is very similar to the cancer, it looks very similar to fungus, they're being misdiagnosed or overdiagnosed. So we'll get into that conversation. I have a whole video on that. It's amazing. And actually your funguses that are taking over, they're sentient. And a lot of people who drink beer, they have a lot of, I always tell people who drink a lot of beer, I tell them this. I said, okay, you want to drink beer every day with a lot of yeast in it? Okay, so I tell them this. I said, drink a beer, drink a Corona, because you know my Caribbean men, I love my Caribbean men. Big up to all my Caribbean sun stars. That's my thing. So I tell my Caribbean men, I say, listen, because they like to drink beer. So I say, okay, take a Corona, drink it, leave it on the counter. Just leave it on the counter. Put the top on so nothing else can go in there. Leave it in there and close the top. What do you think grows inside of the beer bottle, family? Do you guys know? What goes inside of the beer bottle after leaving a couple days closed? There's no air or anything going in it. What grows inside the bottom? Can anyone tell me? Because many of you drink beer, or some of you do, not on here probably. Mold. Thank you. A fungi, right? A fungi, yes. Okay, so yes, fungus and yeast. Okay, so fungus is what you see, fermented fungus. Okay, so mind you, that goes inside your body and it sits there and it has a whole, it's alchemically perfected to create fungi. And if you drink beer every day and you have a very acidic diet, that fungi has a wonderful home in order to replicate and create spores. Because any of you ever go in the fridge and you have an old lemon and then you go and you touch it and the spores dispatch, okay? That's what you are doing every time you're drinking a lot of these fermented drinks, like kombucha, all that stuff. So you got to be very careful what you engage with. Yeah, kombucha. What's the other one? There's something else. I forgot the other one. There's something else. Not kombucha. It's the other one. I just say this all to say, be balanced. Live your life fully and engage beautifully in your life, right? Coffee, Deshaun, you're not wrong. Coffee gives stomach ulcers and can eventually cause, it doesn't cause, well, we don't know that. You could be right. Thank you for that. Coffee could be that. Because remember, my grandmother and my father both got cancer and they have a very healthy diets. But the one thing both of them did is they ate a lot of peanuts because they had like a lot of peanuts and they drank coffee every day. Okay? So we can't take that away from, hey, Cookie. What are you doing? Make sure you wash your hands first. Okay? Snack-a-doodles. Just stay balanced. If you're going to drink coffee, like if you notice FleurBrun drank coffee every day, what did I do? I drank a lot of alkaline water because I'm getting acidity, okay? Acidity isn't bad. Let me state this, acidity in your tummy. I don't need to do a whole show. I know people come onto this talking about, is this okay we're discussing this? Because sometimes I go off. Yeah, acidity isn't bad because you need acidity to break down foods in your body. And that's where Dr. Don, listen, we discussed this on Patreon. It was beautiful. And I so appreciate Dr. Don. Now, Dr. Don cannot be shared because Dr. Don just did it for me. This is somebody who I go to. He does not have a channel. He doesn't have anybody call him. He's not, this is how you know when people are legitimate. It's not what he does. He just shared because he knew that I had a platform. I asked him to, and he decided to share his wealth of knowledge. But just know this, that when you are engaged in eating anything that is in this 3D matrix, if it isn't created from your hands in your garden or from people you know, or you could vet out the farmers, then you most likely are being accepted at one point or another, everything. Okay? So that being said, we know this and we just have to make sure we uphold ourselves in a healthy way. No, I don't drink kombucha anymore. I used to. Kombucha. I loved kombucha, especially I love kombucha, but I also realized that kombucha, for those who are melanin dominant, interacts any sort of fermentation, has a negative interaction with people who are melanites, people who have a lot of carbon or melanin in their skin. So those who are melanites, they like to call it, there's so many names, people with high amount of carbon in their skin complexion, you have a adverse reaction to anything fermented. Okay, so like kimchi, kombucha, what else? Apple cider vinegar, what else? Sauerkraut. Those things that are fermented, they have a absolute aversion to you. Okay, so that being said, should we take probiotics? Listen, you got to listen to the whole. I can't talk, like we talked about that for hours on the show. There's ways that you can naturally create your own probiotics. We can take it, but the point in the matter is you're supposed to create your own probiotics. We keep insourcing all these supplements, And the only reason we're supplementing, listen to the word supplementing. What are you supplementing for? Because you're not getting a balanced nutrition. You get natural photobiotics from consuming things that break down in your stomach and leaving it there long enough so that it can create this wonderful homeostasis that goes into your gut, and that's your photobiotics. We have to take it when we aren't eating in balance, when it's not healthy, okay? Kimchi is amazing for certain people. Listen, White Rabbit, certain people, I agree. Kimchi and kombucha for people who have zero melanin may have a different interaction. Remember, we aren't all the same, and that's okay. So I always say to our people who do well with someone, say that you do well and it does well for your gene pool. But be mindful that there are other people who look visually different. And because I look visually different than maybe from White Rabbit, then my endocrine system and the way that I process food will be different. And that's okay. So, but we have to know that. So kimchi for you can be amazing. Actually, kombucha can be beneficial. But for those who are from a different background, and it can be a brown person from the States who has a total different alchemical reaction than someone from Africa, from West Africa. Okay, so be mindful, not one remedy for everyone. We have to be mindful. There isn't one remedy that is all fixed for everyone. We're very different. And how you're, and like I said, I can't get into everything that was discussed because that show is off the chain and they try to delete it. It was crazy because they tried to delete it on the show on Thursday. Absolutely great clarification. Yeah, absolutely. But listen to that. It was a great show. And like I said, I got Candex from one of our sea stars from having the discussion because I learned too. And she has a similar condition to what my little one has. And we were discussing that. So I thought it was amazing. So big up to the sea stars. We're going to Kindly Stars. We can get into a whole lot of health things on here, but please put a like on the video if you're coming in the room, just as a general. What's up? Sure. I don't know what. Put some stuff on though. Yeah, please, because she's outside. Put some stuff on. Yeah, thank you. Okay, sorry. I don't think or drink or eat fermented. It's, everything is different. Like I said, like I do well with, I love teff flour. Teff flour is an Ethiopian flour. I do well with teff, but I'm adverse to other flours. Like if I do teff as a teff roti, like people, I don't know if many Americans know about roti. Roti is a Caribbean thing. Trinidadians more likely do it. People from India who are mixed in the islands, they do a lot of rotis. So rotis are the flat bread made on the flat thing. I make like bakes or breads, flatbreads with roti, with teff flour. Teff flour mixed with like spelt, or now I do a little bit more of the cassava flour, like a nice raw cassava flour, okay? Which is like a tapioca flour, it's cassava flour. So I do that, and it tastes so good, and when I eat it, I don't get tired. That's also a sign that it's not overwhelming my system. And when I don't eat, just to be clear, when FleurBrun doesn't eat is when I feel my best. And many of you know I'm a thickums. I enjoy eating. Big up to all the thickums in the house. I enjoy eating. But one thing you've noticed, like I'll go on a 30-day fast and I'll look normal. Whereas somebody who has a different endocrine system, the way that they process food, they will go on a 30-day fast and they'll look emaciated. Okay, because my ancestors didn't require food to sustain themselves. They had healthy sunshine. Occasionally, they were fruitarians. They would grab from the fruit from the trees, and occasionally fish, pêche, poisson, fish. Right? What do you say? Pêche in Portuguese, poisson French. What is it? What is it in Spanish? Pollo? No, that's chicken. I forgot what it is in Spanish. Okay, so I come from those ancestors where we don't eat a lot. We don't eat. That's why you see Caribbean people or women of color. Pescado. Thank you, pescado. Thank you, pescado. That's why you see many Caribbean women or women of color from certain regions. They bloat up. They get what people call fat, right? Bloat up. You know why? It's because we're not supposed to eat. We don't require insourcing. Remember, we come from the original women of the earth. The original earthlings that were women, copper women of color, they didn't eat. They sustain themselves through like plants, like through photosynthesis. The sunshine fed them, and occasionally fruitarian diets. They did not eat. It is a fact. If you want to do research, that's something I've researched for years. It is why most women of color bulk up, because they aren't supposed to eat like that. Okay, that's a fact. And those who are from, those lunars who are from more southern Italy, southern places like Spain, places like, where else? Like Greece, they bulk up too. You know why? Because they're mixed with the African women. They're mixed with the women who come from hotter regions who didn't require to eat. So you'll see women from southern European women who get bulky, just like me. I'll see Italian women shaped like me, Spaniard women shaped like me, Turkish women or Greek women shaped like me, very, very robust. And when they eat, because they have the same gene pool as those from the southernmost part of the planet where they didn't require to eat a lot. Now, people from northern regions have to insource. They have to insource, meaning they can't self-sustain. So they have to perpetually keep eating. That's why they have higher metabolism, so that they have to eat. They're required to eat. That's all. It's different types of people on this planet, and we have to respect that everyone shows up differently. So I won't give someone a health plan. I'm not a doctor, but I won't give someone a health plan that is not suitable for their gene type. I wouldn't do it, because someone who's a lunar, who's from Scotland or from Ireland or from Netherlands, won't have the same endocrine system as someone from West Africa or Ghana or Benin or from South America. Okay? No, rice is the devil too. Chicken and rice are the devil. Arroz con pollo is the devil. I don't eat that much, family, and I bulk. When you know I'm gaining weight, it's because I'm eating late. I don't eat that much. I can sustain my weight and not eat. Post shift, I won't have to eat. Hopefully. I'll want to eat. There's a difference. I'll want to eat, but I won't have to eat. Okay? So, that's what I'm saying. Everyone on here, if you get a chance, check out the Patreon page with Dr. Don. He was amazing. I'm going to have Don on again, because Don is at my Whole Food place here, and he's a master at homeopathic medicine. He's vetted things out for years. He's got a wealth of knowledge. It's just so amazing. And one thing I love is when we collab, because there's things that I know on a genetic base that he doesn't know. So he loves to get information from me because I have more of the genetic information. He has more of like the supplement information. He has the information in that way. That's why it's good for us to come collectively together. He was Nye was there. He was informative and so casual about it. When you talk to Don, like Don is so cool. He's so casual about it. You love chicken? And Jasmine, right? Yeah, chicken is a devil. I say that all to say chickens are sweet as a personality. They're very friendly and they're very smart. But chicken in itself is why many people suffer from the flu. When someone asked me years ago, how do you avoid getting the flu? I say, stop eating chicken. Birds carry flus. Okay? So when you eat and consume flesh of birds, you're more susceptible to getting flus. Birds carry flu. Okay, that's my opinion. All right. So if it's funny that they'll tell you to have lots of chicken soup and things like that, and they'll tell you about parasites and worms, and the most parasitic, they tell you about pork is parasitic, but birds have way more worms than, and especially segmented worms, than pigs. Okay. So bird flu is, birds. Where does flu come from? Birds. Stop eating the chickens, the genetically homogenized. Those pink-eyed chickens are, listen, don't get me started, family. You all like to get me started because I'll get on a rant. Those white, feathered, pink-eyed chickens are natural. Anybody here from Hawaii? Where's my Hawaiian family, my Polynesian family? Where's my family from Samoa? My Samoan family, my Polynesian family, and my Hawaiian family. Look at the chickens. When I'm in Hawaii, the chickens are all brown. They're cute. They come in the morning. I love it. We were by the waterfall. They come in the morning with their little babies, and they come to your little, because we had our little place out in a remote place back in the days. They come with their little families. They're brown chickens. They're brown chickens with brown eyes or gold eyes. Those chickens and the factory chickens are homogenized. I told you I worked in a laboratory where all they did was homogenize rats, because it's more rats that were white with pink eyes. I can work with their gene pool because they didn't have melanin surrounding their cells. Melanin protects the cells from inception or alteration. That's why I tell you all the time, they homogenize lunars internally by capping them, and they marginalize brown people by controlling their outer perimeters. So brown people are policed from the outside, lunars are policed from the inside. We're all policed. We're all policed. It's an equal opportunity. They enslave lunars from the inside. They will cap the consciousness of those who are lunars because your cells aren't coated with melanin. Now, not all lunars are the same, but most lunars may not have, especially if they're very fair, you don't have a coated cell. So that's why white lab rats I can work on easier and incept their genomes and mess with them more so than the brown ones. The brown ones you don't want. You wanna strip them of their melanin so you can work on them genetically. Okay, that's a fact. Look it up. Okay, so that's why I say people just watch yourself. And that's why I say for lunars, be more mindful that when brown people say they are being controlled, it is true from the outside. And when brown people and brown people realize when the lunars say they feel like they're feeling controlled from the inside, it is true. Okay, these mofos that are part of the dark Kabbalists have made a point to make sure they control people from all ways that would be permissible for those type of people. Okay, so everybody's under control systems, and how it happens is just what it is. But if we know that, then we have much more empathy for each other and we understand each other's limitations. If you know that, a brown person can't go out at night because they might be attacked or they might be, surveyed or targeted by the police because of their complexion, then lunars, just be empathetic of that because it's a true matter. It's a fact in the matrix. And for brown people, when lunars say that they feel like they're getting infiltrated or hearing voices and things like that, because they're being controlled from the inner world, from their genomes, because they're being homogenized because it's easier to alter what doesn't have protection on its cells. So we have to be protective of each other. We have to watch out for each other. That's all. You have to know the limitations that you have and your other family that looks differently. You need to know their limitations so that we can protect each other, because you can't change what you don't acknowledge. That's all. Okay? And everybody, if you are on this planet right now, you are under some form of control. That's just what it is. Brown, green, black in between. That's why I say, I say it so nonchalantly, people get offended when I'm so nonchalant, but it's a fact. It's just what it is. Everybody's under control. However they control you is just, it's what it is, but it's under control. Let's just do better. And, if you know that marijuana is causing you problems, stay away from marijuana. But if you like chiefing, grow your own chief. Get the original chief and grow your own chief if that's how you like to engage. Okay? If you want to do better in your life, do things for yourself. Oh, you wish I was your mom? Sometimes. Until I told you to clean your room, Zellos. You'd only like me to be your mom until I told you to clean stuff up. Right, girls? Right, Bijou? Right? They said they want me to be their mom until I told them to clean, right? Today's our cleaning day. Sunday is our cleaning day. Yeah. So it's a beautiful day. So let's start to do amazing things. We're at a pinnacle point. There's so many more videos I want to make about the oil's best. I always tell people, if you get an heirloom seed, make sure that you cultivate it, and you make sure that, now listen, I'm not telling anyone to do anything illegal. Let's state that first, because they like to twist it and twist it. There's zero me declaring anyone to do anything illegal, but it's very important if you have a good interaction with the herb and you want to use it properly, then you should be able to procure it and do it properly. Okay, in a region that's legal, so to speak. Okay, I do agree with that. I think it's a wonderful herb. I think most people mistreat it and they abuse it. And when you abuse something long enough, it will eventually come to kick you in your butt. Okay? If you abuse a partner, if you have a partner and you're telling them off all the time, if you're an abusive partner and you always ripping your partner apart, eventually your partner is going to bite you in the butt and they're going to get you back. So, be mindful to treat everything with a level of respect and honor, even when you're engaging with eating animals. I always tell you, I'm not a promote. I won't ever promote veganism as a staple or as a total lifestyle. I will, however, I will recommend it for those who are heavy meat eaters who need a level of clearing for a short period of time. That I will do. Why I won't put veganism or promote it is because they're utilizing it as for a form of mind control and inception. They are trying to infest you with other beings, nanotechnology, or the fungus among us, which is a sentient being that is taking over people's bodies. So I know they're doing that. So you won't hear me do that. But I will say, I think it's helpful for people to take meat out of their diet if they've been abusing meat for years. So if you've been abusing meat and flesh and being non-considerate of the life that's been taken to be able to nourish your body, and you've been mistreating your body, then I will promote something to take that out in order to heal yourself, to kind of reset yourself. And then I will ask you to return to it if you deem it appropriate or required, to do it respectfully. So if you know that you're eating a lamb, that lamb's life has been taken, be respectful. And know that that could have been a mother, that could have been a brother, a son, that could have been a daughter. That animal had family. It came from somewhere and some family. So just like you want the ETs to respect us, you'd be like, oh, why the ETs? You know, y'all come to me, it was like, why are you saying the ETs are consuming us? As above, so below. If you're okay with eating and consuming things without being mindful and care or empathy, then at the same level, you'll know that we aren't the highest on the food chain. There are other beings who are consuming you, whether they're harvesting your organs or they're consuming your children or or people you know. So, you know, if you have a layering effect where you only accept truth on one end when it's beneficial to you and you won't accept it on another, and then you're just susceptible to getting infiltrated on a higher level. Okay, that's it. So be respectful if you engage with meat. That's it. And you don't have to eat meat every day. Be balanced, family. Be balanced. And plants have feelings too. If you're eating plants that are perpetually being killed and being overgrown just for killing and murdering them, they're sentient beings too. So unless you're picking from the vine, if you're eating things that are being pulled from the roots, you're a murderer too. So please don't think as a vegan you're above and beyond meat eaters, because to me you're just as archaic. See, I identify more so as a fruitarian. So I have the concept because I've grown my own food and I know what it's like to pull even a carrot from the ground and how painful, and I can feel the pain and the death of that life. I do. I've grown them. I've grown my own fruit and vegetables. 70-80% of what I was consuming especially when my girls were little, I grew myself. They hurt. When a tree dies, they feel pain and they feel sadness. What would make you think you're above that because you think meat is so much because meat can kind of talk or communicate? Trees do too. Plants do too. So you're putting yourself you're putting a hierarchy of things, and that's how people can also be racist too, because you're saying some people can deserve being mistreated and others don't. That's a form of, you know, speciesism and racism is all one and the same. That's why when somebody's biased or has some racial issues, and I don't consider racist species. When people have complexionism issues, or they put things on hierarchy of what's deserving to live and what doesn't, I also know that they suffer from a form of psychosis. That's mental illness. Because a rational mind would know that everything matters. Everything's a cycle of life. You know, when a seed is seeded from a tree, the mother tree is watching over her babies growing and hoping and watching them ascend into higher levels of being. My beautiful maple tree seeded many babies, and I would leave them alone because I realized those are her children. Why do you think forests are there? Because those are all the children of the mother and grandmother trees, and you think they aren't watching over their babies. So you think by killing and deforesting that's okay? That mothers have to watch, the bigger trees have to watch their children being killed? How would you feel? That's all I'm saying. So when you have your little people, just like with my little ones aren't picking flowers. They admire flowers. Do you pick flowers, boo-boo? Do you pick flowers? Does mommy say you should pick flowers? No, okay. You know why I tell them not to pick flowers? You should admire them. Why do you have to take what you love and destroy it? Because you admire it. If you love something and you admire it, why would you destroy it? Okay? I don't share with you what I don't do in my own household, and I do with myself. Okay? So that's it. It isn't a judgment, it's just an observation. Yeah. It's they have these practices of killing roses. Why do you think roses have thorns in the first place? Because mofos are always trying to kill them. There's no rationale. Why do you think roses have thorns? Because they knew that dirty humans were chaotic. Not all roses had thorns at one point. The original rose didn't have as many thorns. They grow more thorns in order to protect themselves. That's their protection. Why do you think there's thorns on, why do you think there's little spikes on cucumbers? Anybody grow cucumbers? Cucumbers have spikes all over them. You know that, right? Why do you think cucumbers have spikes? Does anyone know that? So you won't pick it and eat it. It protects itself and its babies. So they shave off the spikes off of the cucumbers. Why do you think garlic and onions have such a strong pointed expression when you cut them? Because it's protecting itself. You know, I always say this. I always know beings from grow your own food, and that's why I encourage it, because then you start to be more well-rounded. Well-rounded. Okay? Once you're well-rounded, then you'll see things from a different perspective. You know, it's hard to teach what you're not engaged in yourself. When you start growing your own plants and you see your babies growing from seedlings, it'll be very hard for you to kill your plants when you see them growing from babies, right? When you I've been saying mofo, I'm sorry. Yeah, cucumbers have spikes on them. You see those little things on cucumbers? Those are all spikes. People shave them off when you grow your own cucumbers. And they vine. Anyway, I'm sorry. Am I getting too deep? Am I getting offensive? I'm calm today. That's why I don't have much to share, because I came here today chilling. They have little spikes on them to protect them. Yeah. Why do you think bees protect their honey? Because we're not supposed to be taking their honey, right? You know, FleurBrun, for any advice for targeted individuals. You get hit with microwaves directed. Danny. Thank you, Mr. Corey. This is my thing. We make agreements and we have contracts with many different layers of who we are. If you are deeming and seeing yourself, if you are calling yourself a targeted individual, you're basically accepting the perimeters that you think others have more control over you than you have over your own perimeters. The only way you can be targeted is if you accepted that, okay? In order to protect yourself, you have to overstand and understand and overstand that you are above and beyond anything that's trying to cipher off of you. If something's trying to pull from you or limit you, it means that you're stronger than it. So even with parasites need a host. You are the end all be all. So if you overstand that you're who you are intrinsically, there isn't anything that could really target you unless you accept that. They could watch you, right? They could, you know, because you're still living and breathing. So really, if they really targeted you, you would be dead. So if you want my advice, change the verbiage that you allow and you use and you accept within your own life. Okay, that's number one. Because if you keep calling yourself that or joining groups that identify with that, then you're going to get more of that. Remember, you get more of what you accept. Okay, how I have a partner, if I want a partner to treat me well, I have to create limitations and perimeters that disallow from them to engage with me negatively. If they aren't treating me well, then I pull away whatever they're feeding off of. Okay, if they like my face, if they like smelling me and being around me or my presence, if they are doing things that are non-appreciative of that, I pull what they desire or what they appreciate away from them. And if they want to be engaged with me again, or they want to have my presence, or they want to have my frequency, they will be appropriate with me. Okay? You teach people how to treat you, including those outside of you. People watch me all the time. You haven't ever once heard me use that term as myself. You haven't once ever heard me call myself that. You know why? Because they're watching me. They're supposed to. I'm in my greatness. I'm blowing spots. I'm living my higher frequency. Many will be illuminated and want to see that and to be able to witness that. But best believe there isn't anything targeted about that. That's just because you are just in a frequency that they want to observe. So that's what my advice is. Take that term off. Stop. Halt. Take zero. Disregard that statement or claiming that, and also make sure you stay away from people who identify with that if you want something different, and start seeing it as admiration or envy or concern. And if somebody's concerned about you enough to follow you every day and to watch you, that means you're a great person, and you need to take your gifts and start blowing them over. You know, if that's what you, if you're so important that they got to follow you every day, that means you have gifts that you need to start tapping into. And instead of worrying about who's looking at you on the outside, start doing what you're supposed to do on the inside and start blowing them energetically out, because they won't be able to come around you. Okay, they'll have to look at you through, you know, from a distance. That's all. Because if you know you're an ever-living being, they know, listen, many of the beings who try to look at me and watch me and mess with my show, they know that they want me in a body. They prefer FleurBrun in a body. You know why? Because me outside of the perimeters and the limitations of a physical body, they're going to have bigger problems. So they want me encased in more limitation, because me outside of the body will cause harm to the environment, to people who do harm to children and animals and planets. So they want me in my body. So that being said, I'm grateful for that kind of power and control, where those outside of me overstand and get that they need to monitor me. Yes, they do. And they're doing only what they're supposed to do, because they're about to lose their control and their level of power on this plane of existence. And I will be above and beyond, and I will be the one that they have to come to ask for permission to do any such thing. Okay? Take that kind of empowerment and absorb that. Booyah. You know, I've gotten, years ago, I used to think of things like that. Yeah, you know, what, like I said, that word in itself, targeted, if someone's doing that, they're going to take you out. If they feel that you have enough, there wouldn't be a conversation. You wouldn't even be able to write that. They mess with my channel. But they keep it at just doing little things like that, because they know better. Anyway, so family, are we going to enjoy our day today? We're going to do many positive things. My little ones are cleaning. I'm going to go get a bowl of my fruit. I was thinking about it, but I'm going to get my bowl of my fruit today. You know, I love to get my bowl. You know, it has like avocado, pineapple, mango. Then it got acai in there, and they have Keiko chips. I want that. That's my treat for today. So I hope everyone's going to enjoy their treats today, and you know, treat yourself. This 13th is about protection, but it's about treating yourself as well. Many of you overwork yourselves, or you're doing so much for others. When are you going to put yourself on that list? I always tell mommies this. When are you going to put yourself on that list? Mommies and wives, because as wives, I've been a wife. I was a wife for so many years, and a mother. When are you going to put yourself on a list? You take care of hubby, you make sure he's good, you juice for him, you take care of the children, you're doing that, you're taking care of the environment. When are you going to take care of yourself? What are you going to do special for you, mommy? Okay? When are you going to take a moment and say, listen, hubby, I know you're watching Super Bowls today. What are they watching, the games today? All the men are watching footballs, putting foot to the balls. Okay, they're watching this today. Say, football man, I want to go out. Johnny needs your time and attention, daddy. Can you watch him while I go out and live my best life? And he'll be like, live your best life. Yes, I need to live in my goddesshood today. And today is the 13th. It's basically my birthday. I'm going to go and enjoy myself today. What are you going to go do? I'm going to do like you're doing. You're watching footballs. I'm going to go watch vagina monologues. I'm going to go steam my yoni. I'm gonna go put some yoni eggs and amplify my yoni power. You know what I mean? Go do you. Take care of yourself, sea stars. Do well by yourself, not to your detriment. You don't have to go and drink and throw it back. What is it called? Turn it up. Y'all, I never heard, isn't that crazy? Y'all consider dampening your auric field to be turning it up. To turn it up means you have to get rid of things, right? Because in order to go up, you got to take things off of you. So turning it up is not, you know, turning it up shouldn't be you putting stuff and smoking and gauging. Nah. Go take care of your yoni today. Go, you know, look at your yoni. Enjoy your yoni space. I know you guys think I'm like so Creole when I say I'm a real Creole when I say that. Many of you don't appreciate your yoni. Men are watching balls all day. They watch Super Balls. They're watching balls. Men, I just went to a play. My little one, we went to see a ballet. and it was with other little people. See, I grew up in New York City, so we used to go to plays and stuff and operas all the time. New Yorkers tend to be, especially New York or New York Cityites, like boroughites. We go to plays, we go to museums. We're very cultured in that way. Some of you in LA do the same. A lot of bigger cities we do that. But what's interesting is that the boys on the stage had their balls. You know, they had spandex and their balls showing. So the little boys were laughing. The little boys were sitting in the chair next to me. They couldn't handle it because his ball. This is sick. I have to speak to that. The ballet is a perversion. It was really perverted though. I never realized it because I grew up watching that. But they had balls all out. Listen. If the men want to obsess with their balls, I think by all means, maybe they just want to be in ball heaven. Okay, but women, start loving your yoni. Okay, if you haven't had an orgasm in the last 5 months, that's an issue. You should either be able to I hope I have no children on here. I'm sorry. I'm in self-love mode. I apologize because I don't want little people hearing this language. I apologize. I'm sorry. I was just going to go left. I'm sorry. See, this is me. See, I have to be culturally appropriate, right? I have to be culturally appropriate because Creole women, we know that the orgasm is important. So we advocate because when women are angry, I always tell them, honey, you have to, if he is unable, you need to be able to do that for yourself. I'm just saying, if you can't, then he may not be able to, because if you don't know how that happens, then he may not be able to bring that to you. So I just think a lot of times, if you haven't had that in a while, I just say, listen, you should at least have an orgasm. You don't need a partnership to have an orgasm. Okay. I'm just saying, I'm just putting it out there. So, you know, I'm sorry, it's daytime. I'm being inappropriate. That's part of self-care. You know what I'm saying? Because a lot of women, we do a lot and we get built up. There's a lot of built up pressure and a lot of built up angst. You know what I mean? And a lot of times what that is if you don't have a release, men have releases. They beat each other up. They drink beer. They watch Super Bowls. They talk smack. They talk to other women. They flirt in bars with other women. They get their ego off. Women don't have as many releases or vices like that. So what happens is a woman gets this built up of pressure. She doesn't really release it because she's a lot of judgments about her. Because if she does too much, she's a thottery, right? She's part of the thottery alerts. But, you know, if she represses too much, then she ends up building this resentment and she has this kind of like this field on her where she's not happy. You know, I think it's very necessary for you to release the Kraken. Release that, you know, and utilize I'm not going to talk about it now because y'all going to get upset at me, but release that and manifest what you want, because, you know, that's why they have orgies in the occultists. They utilize your orgasm to be able to manifest things. Why don't you take your time today and tell hubby to watch Super Bowls with his little one, and you go somewhere special, or maybe even your bedroom, lock the door, play some music, go take a bath, and, you know, release the Kraken, right? And manifest a new car. I don't know what you want, or a new job, because you can use your orgasm, Oregon energy, to manifest. Especially now, there's no veil. You probably have, especially some of you who haven't had it in like months or years, you do that. You probably manifest a new whole house. You might even manifest a new husband. A husband who's respectful and doesn't watch Super Bowls. I think it's disrespectful. If you watch Super Bowls in my house, you're disrespectful. I am anti Super Bowls in my house. I've made a point that any man that I am with that isn't something that he obsesses with, because if you are, that means you are not a Yoni fan. If you're obsessing with balls so much, you can't possibly love my Yoni. I'm just saying. You should be watching things about Yonis. Men should actually be obsessed with Yoni sports, like things that look like the lingam. You know what I mean? Y'all should be obsessed with that. We should be obsessed with the Super Bowls. We should be going to theaters and places where there's balls showing. That should be our thing. Y'all shouldn't be watching that. Well, at least if you like women. This is my opinion. See, this is the problem. This is when your auntie's gone too far. I shouldn't be. This is the problem. I apologize. See, I'm going to get a whole bunch of emails saying, FleurBrun, are you anti-balls? You'd be surprised the emails I get. I don't appreciate you talking about males watching Super Bowls. It really offends me that I'm watching I'm watching football, and now I can't even see the ball as a real ball. You messed up. You know, somebody accused me of messing up their whole sport. They said it was my fault that I that I demonized the ball. They said they can't even look at it anymore because I ruined it for them. They blame me for that. Really? Really? You gonna put that all on me? I just stated what was a fact. What you didn't know was a ball? You didn't know it was a ball? Really? I would be okay with men watching women running around with their little camel toe, running around in spandex playing Yoni sports. I would understand men watching that. But anyway, breaking news, it's a ball. I just told y'all to masturbate so much. I'm sorry. I've gone left. This is one of those videos when I don't know. I don't even know where my mind is. Anyway, all I'm saying is that treat yourself well today. That's all it is. Treat yourself well today. Enjoy your day. You know, a lot of mommies and wives and sisters, just enjoy your day. Do things special. And for our sun stars, the same for you. If some of you are, you know, some of you do too much. I know a man who only obsesses with his family, doesn't do anything for himself. Some of you sun stars need to get off your high horse and enjoy yourself. If you want to go and, you know, get a foot massage, this is what I tell men who don't take care of themselves. Go get a foot massage. Get an amazing foot massage, some reflexology, and enjoy your day, okay? And people are like, oh, we can't afford it. It's $49. Some of you pay for a boxing game for $100 on pay-per-view. Don't tell me you can't afford it. Prioritize our sun stars. You guys will pay for a man to knock out another man, see blood coming out of his face and all kinds of crazy, and beat up another man. You'll pay, what is it for pay-per-view? Like $100? I don't watch these things. This is back in the days when I had to be forced into that way of life. I chose to exit stage left. But you'll pay $100 for that, but you won't pay $59 because it's coupons. I have a coupon now for Hand and Stone for $59 to get a massage. For a 60 to 90 minute massage. 60 minutes of pure heaven. Someone kneading your back, sun stars. Massaging you, getting away those woes, taking away the stress. Watching men boxing, that's stressful. Get yourself a massage, okay? Have that, take care of yourselves. This is the 13th. This is our special day. Take care of yourself. You know, and that's why I say some sun stars don't take care of themselves. I see sun stars go and have a reflexology, go do some Tai Chi, do some energy work. You know, sun stars, you too, you matter too. I love our sun stars. You matter too. Take care of yourself. You know, buying a six-pack and watching Super Bowls is not taking care of yourself. That is living up to the man system, that's the programming of the matrix. So you getting a six-pack, you're building all kinds of fungus and yeast. You're putting in all those alien funguses in your stomach that will eventually replicate, and then it creates, I don't know what, disease of doom. Okay, there's going to be a disease of doom. Okay, so that's what you're doing when you do the six-pack. Okay, then you take on the balls. Then you're watching balls, and then you're all kinds of sexually confused because you're watching men, and you should be upset. You know, you should be more so in wanting to watch beautiful women. Okay, I'm just saying. I think it's all tied in. I'm just saying what people think and they don't say. I think that's more of what it is. Yeah. Good job, Cookie. Good. We're going to go get some, she's going to go with me. She deserves a smoothie today. What do you want? You want a bowl or a smoothie?
I feel like,
You want a bowl or a smoothie? You want a bowl? You want the one I get?
Yeah.
That's a good one. We're going to get bowls today, not balls. Bowls. We're going to get bowls today. We're going to get some nice bowls of, I'm going to get that one. That's good. You want the cake? Do you want the coconut? I can't get the coconut.
Which one was the one I got last
I actually want the coconut flakes, but I got the one with just the Keiko flakes. You have coconut. Yeah, we're gonna go get. What about lesbians? Then lesbians, you shouldn't want to watch Super Bowls either. I see a lot of lesbians sitting down watching balls. If you're really a lesbian, how are you watching football and Super Bowls? Why would you even want to watch that? Right? if you're a lesbian, you too should be like those men. You should want to watch the Yoni something. I don't know. I'm just saying we have to be more rational. If you love yourself, do things that are engaged in more things. Stay out of the program and say, I'm just stating what the program is. Many people get upset with me when I tell you what the program is. You'd be like, oh, why you ruin the program for me? It's a program. You're not supposed to, it's in a system that's been projected to you to accept so that you have weird kind of mindset. You know, whenever men are watching their games, they're mad at women. They don't want you coming in the room. They don't want you coming and sitting with them, and they think you're harassing them. Like, yo, that's not healthy. So I'm just stating a clear thing that's obvious. And I hope you don't get upset with me. Don't kill the messenger. I'm just a messenger. Is what I know. See, massive people just left. The Super Balls crew just left the chat. We had like 420 some people. All the Super Balls people left. They were like, you know what? Screw that. I'm out of here. FleurBrun went too far talking about the balls and how I'm watching balls. And then when they watch it and they see men's anal cavity when they're bending over, then they're going to be like, oh, maybe she was right. What was that movie? You Can't Handle the Truth. What was that movie? I forgot. It was like, You Can't Handle the Truth. I'm playing with y'all today. It's all good in the hood. Do what you do. But I'm just saying, if we're going to do things that you enjoy. Do things that make you, drive you to higher planes of consciousness. Getting a massage is not going to hurt you. Having an orgasm that actually has manifestation that brings on something beautiful, that's not going to hurt you. Sitting down in the park underneath a tree reading that book that you haven't read that's been sitting there and taking that moment, that isn't going to hurt you. I always state things that are going to be positive for you. So I'm just saying, a lot of times, if you say to me, like someone called me evil, a couple people call me evil. She's doing the 13th shield to hurt people. If me sitting on every 13th, taking time out of my family dynamics to come here and share our shield together, telling you to be good to your family, do positive things to elders, take care of animals, take care of yourself. If that's evil, building a shield together collectively that's protecting the planet, animals, twin flames, the divine feminine masculine, if that's evil, then I won't ever want to be good. I'll take that. If you deem that evil, then I'm gonna take it. Because that's it. I mean, 13 is a beautiful number. They utilize it for negativity. They use it, the occultists use it for negative. That's a divine feminine number. That is our number. We've taken it back and we've shape-shifted it and we've utilized it for things that are positive. That's all we've done. That 13 is an exasperator. It's a amplifier. So when you put a 13, that's like the B. That's why you see a lot of celebrities with B names. They put the B because it amplifies things. That's all it is. They've been using it. That 13th floor, you think there isn't a 13th floor? They use the 13th floor. Right? They put it in there. They demonize it for you. This is like somebody who tells you, oh, don't eat that. You ever go out with somebody and be like, don't eat that. That's not good. And meanwhile, they go in the back and they eat it all up because they wanted it. So they demonize it so you won't touch it. And then they're consuming it for themselves. That's selfish and it's demonic. We took back the 13 because it was ours in the first place. They placated it. They took it. They robbed it from the divine feminine. That's ours. Oh, a few good men. Thank you. That's what he says. You can't handle the truth. Yeah, that's our 13. So we took it back. I just took back the sweater that you borrowed from me that you've been rocking for 10 years. I took back the sweater. It was mine. That's like you telling me it was mine. It's like your girlfriend borrowing your sweater. She's been rocking it for 6 months. Then you tell her you want your sweater back. I don't tell you I want anything back. I take it back. I take my sweater back. And I'm going to rock my own sweater. I'm rocking a 13 because it's ours. I'm not taking anything of theirs. I'm taking what was already ours. That's it. Fair and balanced. So what are y'all going to do? So big ups to everyone who's going to join. Yeah, we're taking back. Listen, the matriarchy is coming back online. And listen, family, I love when everything is solidified. Check out the new Terminator. Because I went to go see Gemini Man. The new Terminator is a female, right? I told you they would start replacing all characters with females. Y'all told me I was crazy. They did it with Ghostbusters. They did it with the woman that fell over the thing. What was it? The thing, the boat. They replaced all these characters with females. They had a female Doctor Who. Now they have a female Terminator. I told you, whenever you change cycles, they start to acclimate to the new cycle. So everything is turning over to a female heroine. This is what's happening. I told you it's going to happen in the cinemas first. Men in Black is a female. They're doing it. I told you this 6 years ago. What was it, 6 years now? 6 years ago, I said all the movies are going to change over to female. Because whenever they change Home Court Advantage, they change it. Okay? They change the characters to match the frequency. Batman too. Batwoman too. Listen. So, you know, I'm just saying we're in those times. The matriarchy is coming back online. That's why they have male birth control now. A female James Bond too. I didn't even know that, Gemini. Female James Bond. They're doing it. We're on home court advantage, our sea stars. That means that all of the things that were hampering us or we had a disadvantage is literally gone. So long as you're holding a healthy homeostasis, and even if you're not, you're still going to benefit from being a female. But once you're holding that divine, especially we're going into 999 and not 666, 666 is the inversion of 999. Okay, so now we're going in 999 in a matriarchal sense of perimeters. So, you know, they have male birth control now, which some men are saying they don't want to take because of the side effects. I said, what? What did you say? They said they don't want to take it because of the side effects. I said, do you realize that you've expected women to take birth control because of your wandering wands for so long that, and the women had tons of side effects. And also many women had gotten all kinds of, issues later on in life from using birth control, but you don't want to lose a birth control because it has side effects. Did you say that to your wife? Did you say it to your girlfriend? That I don't want you to take, baby, I don't want you to take birth control because I love you. I don't want you having a host of side effects. You didn't say that to her. Take your birth control. So you don't complain about having unwanted kids that you don't want. Now you have a choice. Take your birth control. Take your happy daffy birth control so that you don't create any more children that you don't want. All these men creating children that they don't like, they don't want, they didn't want with the woman because they were just looking at her behind and they didn't really see anything other than the buttocks. Now they have a host of children that they don't want. So now you have a choice. Take your pill like you've expressed your girlfriends and your wives to do, and now you can take control of your own birthing arena. Take your pill and give me back my sweater. Welcome to the new paradigm, family. It's a beautiful time. Listen, this is a beautiful time in the planet. It's the most amazing time in the planet. We're going to have a lot of good times. The pole shift is underway. The dark Kabbalists are falling apart. They're doing all kinds of diabolical, and I got a Creole recipe for y'all to give you a heads up. So just know this. You accepting that the time ahead will be amazing. What do you need? There's some in the fridge. Okay. You accepting that the time ahead will be amazing and that you will be safe and that you'll enjoy a new life beyond the restrictions and the perimeters of these beings, what they've created. This is a beautiful time. If you accept that, then it's all good in the hood. That's it. So there isn't any fear. You take fear out of the equation. It's all good because you want the whole system to fall apart. We can't build on an already established system. So we have to let it fall, and it's not going to look pretty falling. So just watch it from a distance. Why don't you get dressed before so we can get ready? Why don't you look at it from a distance? See what happens. Stay out of their business because they're going to orchestrate their own lies. Remember, they're all smoke and mirrors right now. Everything that's going on isn't what it seems. It's all a lie. If they tell you they're doing A, that means they're doing X. Okay? If they're telling they're doing L, that means they're doing R. Okay? There isn't anything they're going to be honest about because they're trying to save face. All right? So just look at it from a distance. Follow your higher mind. Keep it moving. That's it. But it's a beautiful day. Enjoy your 13th. Enjoy your beautiful orgasms. enjoy getting a massage today. Enjoy going to the elders and bringing them some, you know, some goodies, some sandwiches or something. Bring some fresh fruit salads to the elders, even though they may not like that. Elders kind of just at the point where they want goodies. You know, bring some food to the animal shelters. Bring out the little ones. No porn. Porn is the devil. Remember, porn is a cipher. That's why they have free porn online. Porn is a feeder for demons. Porn is a host. There's hosts on the phone, on your phone, AI, and they feed off of your energy. So your orgone energy will be ciphered into demonic hands. You won't be able to cipher. So if you've been doing the happy dance of orgone expression and you haven't been able to vet it out because you've been watching pornography, it's chances are those demons, you're feeding them. If you are engaged in that way, you should have your own beautiful elevated way to achieve orgone energy. Okay, you should have a natural way to achieve it without utilizing our electronics for stimulation and absurd visuals from mostly Satanists. Most of those people engaged in those activities are low field, okay, and there's demons that feed off of it. Okay, so you should have happy thoughts. You should have your twin flame in mind. You should be like, oh, twin flame. I just see my twin flame. That thought in itself should bring you to elevated states of expression. Okay, stay with your own thoughts. Okay, have a wonderful meal today. If you decided to go, like, what's a nice thing to do? Go for a walk today. It's beautiful. I know in the Northeast, I do miss that in New York and Jersey and Pennsylvania and Michigan. You guys get a beautiful array of beautiful trees. It's a beautiful time to go hold hands outside. Go outside and hold hands and enjoy yourselves. Hold hands as a couple. If you're a couple, hold hands outside. Go sit underneath the tree, smooch like you used to when you were younger. Do things like that. Sit and read a book underneath the trees. The trees are so beautiful right now. Flint, Michigan, you guys have wonderful foliage. The view is amazing. I can imagine. That's one thing I do miss. Okay? So enjoy. Hug a tree, right? Joko Moko says hug a tree. Go by the beach. If some of you are by the beach, it's nice to sit down by the beach and just chill out. Okay? So, enjoy. Enjoy this day of the 13th. This is our celebration. We already upheld our shield. Make sure if you haven't done the shield mantra, remember, it doesn't matter if you come late, say the mantra 3 times. It solidifies it. It's our 13th. This is how we uphold our shield. Enjoy some good music, okay? Enjoy the good music as well. Good frequency music, good company, something yummy today. This is a day, enjoy yourself today. Indulge in something amazing today. And extend that to someone you love, all right? So family, I'm gone. We enjoyed. I apologize if this video went left. Sometimes I have moments. Sometimes my mouth, I'm a triple Sag. It's what we do. Triple Sages have a hard time holding in their thoughts. Anyway, I love you. Have an amazing day. Purple and white. Say your mantra, enjoy, and we shall reconvene. All right? I love you, family. Peace. Peace, peace, peace.